Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and I had an absolute blast recording that Thanos video a couple of days ago. It's so much fun to take sort of forgotten characters, especially for PvE, and see what they can do now with the PvP build and with the PvE build since I've crafted all of my cards. So we're going to take a look today at Hulk, Immortal Hulk. Now, unlike Thanos, Hulk is still very, very good for PvP content, particularly, timeline battle, but also Alliance Conquest and Alliance Tournament. He really does the trifecta of PvP content. He's not the top dog. He's been sort of slowed down by characters like Luke Cage and like Mephisto as a blast type, but he still hangs with the best of them. And very few characters in this game, basically no character in this game other than maybe another Hulk, can survive the gamma ray burst at full power. Maybe like Luke Cage, but it's a very powerful skill. The HP buff, the fact that it deals damage based on his HP, the synergistic properties of it are just so juicy. So we're going to be taking Hulk into some content with my PvP build, and then we're just going to be swapping his CTP over to a PvE CTP. Standard PSA, well, not standard PSA, but there were some sort of misguided lambs in the last video for Thanos, so I just wanted to put up a standard PSA. Hulk is not good for PvE content. Well, maybe he's going to be really good. Who knows with 22% Pierce. But obviously, if your account is not identical to mine and you don't have my gameplay skills, your results may and probably will vary. So take this video with a grain of salt. It's more for fun than for, super analytic purposes. Now, just to recap the build really quickly before we go into it, we've got full defensive Uru because he does not take, and he doesn't take anything from, and he doesn't get any advantage from physical attack Uru. So we've got 8 HP, 4 heal, and then a bunch of dodge and a bunch of energy defense. The energy defense is actually for PvP because, of course, energy attackers are going to be his biggest weakness: Sentry, Molecule Man, Jean Grey, etc. But yeah, you can go with physical defense there if you wanted to, but basically there's nothing else for him because he's capped on everything else. Capped on recovery. He's actually way over capped on dodge, so I don't even maybe need all of those Uru. But anyways, all the stats are capped. Actually, cooldown isn't capped, funny enough, but I think 48% is going to be absolutely fine. That final 2% is not going to be costing me very much. But you know what? Just to be safe for it, I'm just going to swap over one of his dodge Urus to a skill cooldown. We'll still be capped on everything, and now he's 49.9, which is basically capped. Now, for the rest of the build, I've got binary power, again, for more HP and an HP shield. The HP shield isn't going to buff his damage, but the HP on binary power will, which is really good. I've heard some people say that the proc, the attack proc from Power of Angry Hulk does buff up Hulk, but we're just going to go with binary power because we still have the HP ISO and the HP chaotic there. And then we actually have a mighty CTP of regen. It doesn't really matter at all because the mighty part of it doesn't interact with bosses in World Boss or World Boss Legend. This only applies to PvP, so the yellow stuff doesn't even matter. It's just going to matter that it's going to cost me an extra 100 crystals to unequip, but that's totally okay. So we're going to jump into some null action now, and let's first get a little heat check for what Hulk can do like Thanos at stage 9. So first things first, we're going to get a pulse on what Hulk can do. We are going to be bringing in, I should have done 3 first. We are going to be bringing in Proxima lead for the ignore dodge, and then we're also going to be bringing in Valkyrie for more ignore dodge, and of course the buff against villains. Now, unlike Thanos, he's sort of struggling here on stage 9, and we're sort of not able to. There we go. Finally canceled. Okay, it's a little bit better. Finally canceled 5 properly. We're going to get stunned by the cage. But yeah, he has no ignore dodge on any of his skills. He doesn't even have ignore dodge on his tier 3. So it's pretty... I want to actually try to pass the buff on his 4 over to his 5. I think that's pretty good. Actually, this is a little bit better than I thought. Can he dodge the cage with his tier 3? He cannot. Oh, that's a big bummer. That'll help us for the next few runs, but that is a bummer to find out that he cannot cancel with his tier 3. Some characters can. Some characters get, stun immunity. But I think passing the damage proc, I don't think I passed it that time. But I think in general, passing the damage proc over from the 4. The 4 is pretty good. The 4 damage is probably his best. If you're going to use him with a damage proc, I would say 4 is probably the best. He's actually also surprisingly good at... Oh, I didn't pass it off that time either. Jeez. We were 1% shy of... There we go. There we go. Yeah, it's like 3 bars when you pass it off properly. He's actually really good at dodging all of the... There we go. So that took about 2 minutes. He's actually really good at dodging a lot of the effects, the stuns, the tornadoes, because the 5 seconds of debuff immunity on his 5th. So that was pretty bad, I would say. It's double support. It's Proxima support and Valkyrie support, and it's Proxima's leadership. So this is a very expensive setup for Hulk, and he's doing it with 2 minutes gone. Almost 2 minutes gone. This is very, very slow. This is basically the minimum amount of time. If any of my runs are slower than this, I usually don't even bother finishing the run because I don't think the character can do it. So right now, with a PvP build with 22% Pierce, he is basically at his limit. So there's no real sense in going higher at this point, or stripping the team down, right? Because 75% ignore dodge is almost max anyways. So I would say bare minimum, if you're going to bring Hulk into PvE content for World Boss Legend stuff, you're gonna need a healthy amount of Pierce, unless you want to go down to stage 1, of course. And then you're going to need, you know what, why don't we just go ahead and test stage 1? Again, you're not going to tier 3 Proxima, and you're not necessarily going to bring in Proxima, but let's go. We're going to go 95% ignore dodge, so basically 100%, and let's see how he does for stage 1. Because you know what? The rewards, and this is an important thing to say when you're especially when you're looking at these kinds of videos where it's more about having fun with the characters that you like. The rewards between stage 1 and stage 20 are not that different. Oh, he does the 4 on the co-op. That's really good. I'm gonna pass that off. The rewards are pretty similar, right? So if you just want to get CCF, which it's basically the same, just do stage 1. And so if that's the case, then you can absolutely, I think, if you see this, right? I'm doing this really fast. If you go slower with less Pierce on your cards, you're still gonna get it done. So yeah, he absolutely can do stage 1. Well, with all of these buffs, he does it very fast. You can do it more slowly. You can, for every buff you take off, it's gonna take off whatever 20-30 seconds from the clear. But now here's the fun part. I want to see, because there are some players, by the way, there are some players that use Hulk in DRX, in Danger Room Extreme, with a CTP of Rage. And there are other players who have encouraged me, I haven't done it, but they've encouraged me to try to roll a double max HP. I don't think I have any here that I've rolled. A double max HP damage proc obelisk. That would be a really cool test. Unfortunately, I don't have one of those. It's pretty rare. It's honestly like rarer than gambling for a CTP. But basically what I would do is I would take a max HP obelisk, and then I would roll it. I don't even think I have, I don't even have one here. I would take one and roll it to try to get double, like a second HP roll, and then a damage proc, because he could definitely, like, the damage proc will definitely work with him. So like, for example, if this does have a damage proc actually, but it's a 10-second damage proc and it's only a 120. So if this was like 30% max HP, 30% max HP, and then a 200% damage proc, again, we're talking unicorn status for how rare that is, but that could actually work. It might even work better than a rage, to be honest with you. I honestly don't know. It could actually work better than a rage. So we end up getting max HP crit damage and an energy shield. Obviously that's not gonna work for him, but yeah. Anywho, let's unequip this now. I don't actually, you know what? An energy might still be good. He doesn't have that many hits though. Let's be honest. He doesn't have many hits. So it's pretty much going to be rage or bust. So let's try him with a rage and see how he does. For the most part, I think Hulk was really designed for PvP because he really doesn't have any of the typical PvE trappings, right? Like no guaranteed crit rate. Oh my gosh, he got guard broken that time. The lack of guard break immunity. I've actually heard this from players that one of the reasons when World Boss Legend first came out, people did try with their Immortal Hulks. And one of the reasons why it was actually so bad for Hulk was that, let's see. Okay. Was that he gets guard broken without a CTP of regen. So it's actually really painful if you think about it that way. You're sort of trying to buff up Hulk, and you're actually getting punished even more for it. That's pretty brutal if you ask me, right? So let's see here. The damage is not bad when you, but it's not that good either. Oof, yeah, this is unlike the, so this is really funny, and this actually gives you a really good insight into why, you know, Pierce is definitely not a catch-all for, you know, making characters good. And people even took issue when I was playing with MODOK and stuff like that, but this is a perfect example, right? He is barely faster, and I'm getting guard broken, and there's nothing I can do, by the way. There is nothing that I can do to stop from getting guard broken here. So I could maybe clean that up, right? That's, guys, he's less than 20 seconds faster between a regen and a rage. Just for curiosity's sake, I'm going to spend another 300 crystals. I'm actually going to end up spending, yeah, I'm going to spend another 300 crystals, and I'm going to swap him over to an energy. I'm actually shocked at how bad that was. Maybe I could clean up the run a little bit better. Like, maybe I didn't play perfectly, and maybe I could just rerun that over and over and over again to dodge those attacks instead of getting guard broken and knocked back and stunned. But that's going to happen because he doesn't have super armor. He doesn't have a guard break immunity anymore. So, yeah, unlike, you know, completely opposite, right? This in stark contrast to Thanos, who was ripping, right? Let's give him this 200 proc here. Thanos was ripping through content through Null with Pierce and an energy. Hulk is still struggling. Now he's gonna have well over 100% ignore dodge. We're talking like close to 120% ignore dodge. What we want to do for the, yeah, it's gonna be really hard. Yeah, you know what? Let me reset this. We're not gonna be able to. I don't think I can cancel 3 fast enough. We might end up proccing on 3. You want to proc on 5, cancel 4. So even though the HP is going to buff his damage, here, what we'll do is we'll do 5, and then as soon as he lands, we're going to proc into 4. Okay, he didn't proc. Awesome. So then we're just going to do 3. Okay, we procced on 5. Okay, so we can already see where the rest of this disaster is going to come from. Okay, we're going to proc on 6, I guess. It's a little bit better damage-wise. But you're not surprised to know that it's still kind of bad. He's still getting guard broken. He's still getting interrupted, right? Oh, goodness gracious. There, proc on 6. I'm trying to proc on, like, 5, cancel 4 or something, right? That's what I want to proc on. See, but no proc. Okay, true. Trying to just build up the tier 3 as much as I can. We get a nice, decent 2 bars out of his 5th skill with the proc. There we go. 5, cancel 6. There's the big damage. There you go. So again, if you really wanted to use Hulk in World Boss Legend content, if he's just your favorite character, right? And I can totally understand why he would be. He's awesome. It's honestly, I would say Rage is probably more consistent overall. Like, maybe if I practice this, I could get this down. This is 13 seconds faster than Rage, which is, again, only 30 seconds faster than just giving him a regen, which is the best option for him for PvP anyways. And it doesn't matter whether it's a regular regen or a mighty regen. It has no bearing whatsoever on his PvE performance. So you don't need to worry about reforging it. So this is a really good example. Like, he could probably clear stage 9, but Thanos was ripping through stage 9 with 2 supports, right? He was doing it in 30 seconds. Hulk is still clocking in at over a minute. Whereas, right, this is with an energy or a rage. Does take your pick. Whereas Cull Obsidian or Corvus, they one-shot the boss. They one-shot phase 1 with my build and my account, and they're basically done. They actually take less than a minute to clear this. So now you can see, right, with everything balanced, same CTP, same cards, everything, same supports, where does Black Dwarf lie for PvE as a combat villain, and where does Hulk lie? Black Dwarf literally finishes Null in under a minute. I've finished it under a minute, the whole fight. Hulk is taking a minute to finish the first half of the fight, and it's only going to get worse from there for him time-wise, because in the second half of the fight, when Null is on the ground swiping you with his sword, he guard breaks you even more, which is why some characters like Doctor Strange really struggle in that second phase of the fight, and why you have to kite with Gambit, because otherwise he guard breaks you. And Moonstone struggles as well, and I struggle to say that. So yeah, this is a really interesting case study on Hulk. So in my opinion, you don't have to take it from me, but in my opinion, I would stick with a PvP build for Hulk. I think that is by far the best option for him. I think that is what he's built for. Maybe in the future we will get a really cool PvE uniform for him, but I think in the meantime, this is really where he's meant to be, clapping cheeks in PvP. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.